On day 1 of this challenge, I built this hobbit hole in 4 hours, and on day 22, I built this nice Victorian house in 1 hour. You don't need talent, you don't need action, you don't even need to enjoy it every day. Just need to show up, low self-esteem, and a plain routine. Here's what happened when I committed myself to building Minecraft every single day for a month. Day number 1. Day 1 I wanted to do something I was really comfortable with, so I could warm up the challenge and get it going. I did a hobbit hole. I used andesite, cobblestone, bricks, and spruce for the most part. There was a cozy building, a nice interior, it has some survival elements like this enchantment table, a decent storage, and my favorite part of this building is that hobbit holes, or hole in the wall if you want to call it this way, are easily expandable. You just keep digging the hole and it's just easier to keep detailing inside. It's something I'm really familiar with and a good way to start. That's it, let's go to day number 2. Day 2 I tried to build something from drawings alone, and I don't have the skills to back up this idea. I tried to build a Mr. Satan house from the Super Nintendo game Earthbound. I never saw a building like this in Minecraft, and this went poorly considering I made the shape more vertical than it needed to be. It just looks boring to me. I tried to implement this gradient. It kinda looks nice, but it doesn't save the building. The interior is just something okay, but nothing crazy. I tried to make a kitchen, a computer, but it's just boring. Day number 3. Day 3, I try to be more pragmatic and build stuff that I see more on Minecraft, and could take inspiration from many places like Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok. This time, I built a Japanese-style house. I went for a simple rectangular shape because the roof was really complex to me, and honestly I don't even remember how I got this right, but I'm proud of this building. I pushed myself and it looked good in the end. Instead of doors, I used trapdoors to look like those sliding doors we see on traditional Japanese houses. There is a nice level of detailing in the interior, though it took more time than I anticipated. Day number 4. Day 4 is one of my least favorite buildings. I tried to make a suburban house following an actual plant I found on the internet. The problem was scale. It was just hard for me to implement real-life stuff inside Minecraft. I got the measures all wrong, and I didn't even bother constructing the interior. Reason being, I got so stressed I just wanted to have a finished product till the end of the day. The worst part is that I had a lot of time to make the house, but I managed it poorly. The end result was me doing a trashy gradient and windows with lanterns, so I could patch up this ugliness and quote-unquote finish the house. Day number 5. Day 5 I found my comfort zone and built a medieval-style house. This style of building will repeat itself through the days, probably because the majority of building tutorials I watch all my life were on this style of building. I made a cobblestone foundation, I used a bunch of details with trapdoors, roofs, etc. I used blocks I was not used to, like mud bricks. Honestly, now they are one of my favorite blocks. I love the way the house looks at the end. It has a warm interior. I didn't go crazy since I didn't want to mess it up. I made this exterior with a nice lake outside, and it just looks nice. I like it. Simple shape and beautiful colors. Day number 6. Day 6 I followed the medieval trend, but I had this idea in my mind to make a tower. I wanted to practice more organic shapes into my buildings. Not only a tower though, a house with a tower, that was it. I remember taking a long time to make this building, and I was really concerned in the beginning. The tower ended up being square shaped, that was not intentional. I was just using deep slate, it was looking monochromatic, boring, and I thought this would be another day 4. But this time, instead of panicking and slapping gradients everywhere, I kept going. Happily, I trusted the process and it ended up looking wonderful. It has this crazy red gradient in the roof that brings more color to the building, and as a guy said, made it look like a villain's lair. I had some trouble building the interior because of the tower, but this was a nice experience and it gave me this mantra to trust the process even if you don't believe it. Day number 7. Day 7, I was really stressed from work and only had time to start building at 1 AM. I don't really remember the things in my head, but I was definitely stressed for whatever reason. I tried to be really fast, saying that I needed to sleep and wake up early in the morning, and I made this nether-themed building. It looks okay, but my mental state was trash-talking me a lot about how this looked. I was not in the mood, didn't build an interior, and my day was ruined. Jokes aside, mental state dictates a lot when you are trying to build up any skill. It's important to remember that if you sleep 4 hours, it won't do any good for yourself. This actually looks okay considering the constraints, and maybe it was just my inner devil talking crap. Day number 8. Day 8 is definitely my least favorite building. This is what I call trash. I try to make a castle with 4 detailed towers that support the mansion or whatever, but this building took my entire afternoon to look like a piece of crap. As Jaron quoted, "When we lack skill, we try to make it up in size." But honestly, this is small, ugly, and incomplete. And no, this doesn't have an interior. I hate this building. I was too ambitious and turned out too unhappy. The worst part is that the building looks like, yeah, exactly. But here's the thing. I kept it, I didn't delete it, because Day 8 taught me more about what not to do than most successful builds I made. Day number 9. Day 9 I got inspiration from the Create mod and the new Minecraft Copper update to make a steam engine building. It has a water source, and this crane gets the coal to make the steam engine work. The crane, these pumps, and cogwheels, I took inspiration from Pinterest. I enjoy taking my time constructing everything, but I feel like there's something wrong with the way I place the blocks or something. It is unnecessarily colorful to an industrial setting, I guess. I was not used to copper, and I'm still not used to it, but I love the way I made this. And the end result as well. Day number 10. Day 10 we have one of my favorites, which is the blacksmith house. I once again got into the medieval setting and used some blocks I'm not used to, like endstone, endstone bricks, prismarine, and this nether blue wood something. This is when I realized medieval doesn't mean the same 5 blocks over and over. You can keep the style but experiment with unexpected colors and palettes. I made this big chimney, which is the forge of the blacksmith. I'm really proud of the interior. I made this look like something you would see on Skyrim, maybe. I used that trick where you can make a helmet look like this for decoration, and it really combined with the whole idea. For the exterior, I made a wheat field, giving it a dark fantasy vibe to it, which really combined with the colorful palette of the building. This is definitely in my personal top 5. Day number 11. Day 11, I went overboard with this building. I tried to make another medieval style building, but more magical, I would say. My idea was to build a witch hut overgrown with bushes, leaves, and even trees. Something you could find in a dangerous swamp. It kinda worked, but I think it's quite exaggerated. I took inspiration from other buildings I already made. Here we have another chimney, another tower. This shape is practically the same as build 6, but it's unique in its own way. This is what happened when you build without a clear plan. I just Frankensteined together pieces from previous builds, and it's not bad, but it taught me that winging it only works when you have a strong vision first. I kind of like it, but sadly I was not able to make an interior, so that's the end result. Day 12. Day 12 was wonderful because this started something I didn't expect to happen. I was building this and my friend, let's call him Beep, he was watching me build on Discord because he was waiting for me to play Roblox. I was trying to make a boat, though I was not getting the shape right. It did not look good for me and him neither, so much so that he was trashing talking me the whole time, decided to reinstall Minecraft and actually helped me build the boat. What a goat. With time, we made this, inspired by some building he saw on TikTok, and I added in some details like this beach alongside the boat with wall blocks to block the water flow, this campsite and some seagrass and fish to give more life to the building. I love the detailing of this building, also one of my favorites. Day 13. Day 13, my friend Beep called our friend Bopp to help, and together we built this Catholic church inspired by a real-life church. I love the way it looked, though it took us the entire afternoon just to get the measures. In second thought, I think we should scale it down to allow more detailing, and I built these 2 statues following a tutorial I found on YouTube, but I was really stressed that day, and sadly I was not able to give it my all and help my friends properly. They were basically hard carrying me in this one. but I'm happy with the end result. I just wish I could texture it better because the walls look kind of flat with the scale of the building. Anyways, I'm happy with the result. Thank you, Beep and Bopp. Day number 14. Day 14, I made this simple barn, and I was trying to see if I could make a building rapidly. It took me like an hour. I don't exactly remember, but I'm proud of the end result. I just searched for medieval barn on Google and started to wing it. We have a simple stone foundation, a wheat roof. It definitely stands out. A quite familiar block palette, and some vegetation to give it more contrast. The only problem is that the horses can easily escape the building. I won't fix that. Day 15. Day 15, me and Beep made this little street where we have 3 separate houses with unique palettes. This was a good experience because it was a complete change in style, and I took inspiration from many Pinterest posts with like these Minecraft streets. There is definitely nothing crazy in the interior of each building, but we had to do the nasty Gria method where we just ignore the back of the houses. At the very least, it looks good in this perspective, not in this one. Day 16. Day 16, I made a convenience store. This building took a while to make because I'm not used to realistic settings. I took my time to make the interior, and this was worth it. I'm honestly proud of myself because this interior looks wonderful. I started using commands to pick player heads and use them as decoration, like this Pepsi here. And we also have this wonderful ice cream machine, a lot of vending machines, and a lot of these things are actually copy-paste from Pinterest, and some have my own adaptations, but yeah, most part I just copy-paste everything. Glazed terracotta works as a wonderful carpet for modern structures. The exterior is simple yet beautiful. We have more vending machines, of course, some trash cans, flower vases, these paintings that can be used as posters, this outdoor sign for drivers to see aerial mod from afar. This is one of them. I didn't create the car, of course, I followed a tutorial or saw somewhere, but this just illustrates how far the Minecraft building community went, and that's incredible. If I search for something like Audi in Minecraft, I'll probably find an image or even a tutorial, which is just crazy to think about it. But I definitely got a new vision and liking for building things in real life when I made this. Day 17. Day 17, me, Beep, and now Bopp helped me to make a Japanese street. Here we did another city-themed building, but this time we were trying to do something more contemporary. I made a ramen shop that I'm really proud of. I found obscure tutorials on YouTube on how to make these Japanese banners in Minecraft, like, brother, this is artistic redstone, I don't know, it's just crazy to think about how people do this stuff. Anyway, my friend Bopp made this library in the left corner, and my friend Beep made the 7-Eleven and a hot dog cart in the middle. I love this building, the detailing, but we had to resort to the Gria method one more time. At the very least, the back of these houses are finished. I love this building, and this Japanese style is incredibly satisfying to incorporate in buildings, though it's complicated sometimes. Day 18. Day 18, I made a fire watchtower inspired by the game Fears to Fathom, Iron Bark Lookout. I was watching Bear Lazy gameplay, and I tried to visually represent the things in-game that I remembered and replicate the unsettling yet cozy feeling this game ambience has. I somewhat got the tower support measures wrong. They are even numbers. It's a 10 by 10 and not a 9 by 9 like I intended. That's why these axes look chubby. This affected how the house ended up looking at the top, but the interior looks satisfying for me. Like this building, I just didn't have the patience to build the RV from the game and make the tweaks and fixes I talk about. Day 19. Me and Beep were trying to make a restaurant, but I was not able to figure out a decent palette or make the building look fancy like those Italian pizzerias. It ended up looking kind of plain without much detail. Definitely funny looking, but way far from the initial idea I had in my mind. It looks like a building you would have in Minecraft in 2013 or something, probably because of the lack of depth here. It's just concrete blocks and a dream, I'd say. The end result was decent, I just wish I put more detailing like walls, texturing, to make it more alive. It's too square even though it's Minecraft, I know, but I didn't bother building an interior. That's not too shabby, I guess. I had built 8 more. Day 20. Day 20, I basically made another steampunk style building. Probably one of my favorite styles of building, if not my favorite right now. It's just so pleasant looking to the eye and new to me, like build a pump, a cogwheel, etc. In Minecraft, we are inclined to build in a medieval style, but this is a breath of fresh air. And I made some cool stuff like a big machine inside the house and a movable fan with redstone. You just have to turn down the volume. This is a pain for your ears but candy for the eyes. Day 21. Day 21 I made this happy guest house. I took inspiration from a YouTube short I got recommended in my feed. If I find it, I'll definitely put it in the description, but I didn't follow the tutorial. I took the concept and worked around it. Basically, you do an artificial happy guest using concrete or whatever block you have, do the happy guest and make a house on top of its head. This is actually a brilliant idea, not only to avoid any terraforming, something that I still suck, but it's nice looking. The update is fresh and new and it's just cute. Come on, give me some credit. The building itself, I didn't go crazy, just like a little survival base at the top, and that was it. I love this building. I could put more effort into the building itself, but that's fine, I like it. Day 22. Perhaps Day 22 is one of my favorite buildings. It's at the very least in my personal top 5. The reason being that not only was this surprisingly fast, I also love the palette. The interior is simple yet fancy, and I took the idea from Victorian houses and this appeared on Jaren's video. I basically took some notes about what Mogsom talked about and Jaren's perspective on the building style. Beep helped me a lot with the interior. There is this piano I saw somewhere on TikTok. Anyway, everything just glued together. I can't explain it better. And this will probably be in the thumbnail somehow, rest assured. Fun fact, this is probably the most expensive electric pole I've ever seen. Anyway, I love this building, it's a 10 out of 10 in my point of view. Day 23. Day 23, I was so stressed at work, someone in the comments called me out that my voice was not engaging enough that day. Which is a perfect feedback, don't get me wrong here. I'm just highlighting it because I found that funny. I was really tired, not gonna lie. I only had like 30 minutes to make this building and it ended up looking way better than I anticipated. I was trying to do the survival sort of house with this ramp roof. I never did a building utilizing this type of roof, so I thought it would be a cool idea to try it out. It was easy when you have a clear shape in your mind and the roof just goes well with the shape. You have around 80% of the building done. I noticed this while watching Rowan's channel because he didn't say this, but after watching some of his videos, he does like challenges where he builds without seeing the texture of the blocks, and somehow some of the buildings look nice because he does an outline, a shape that works. That was the thing that I took from his videos as my learning. Anyways, that's the end result. This took like little to no time and looks incredibly nice considering my constraints and lack of sleep. Day 24. Day 24, I made a Pokemon Center with Beep. It somehow went from a simple Pokemon Center to a fancy, vintage Pokemon Center. It's like the Pokemon Center Professor Oak would go in his youth. I like the block choice, the interior, we use player heads to make Pokeballs, and the interior is quite loyal to the game version. It just doesn't not have another floor to do PvP with your friends. I like this building and it was really fun to do something like that. Day 25. Day 25, me and Beep made a simple train and a train station. Nothing crazy going on here. We have a quite simplistic interior for the train. The station is not really well detailed, but it does its job. The wheel field was with the intent to give a parallax effect for anyone close to the window, but the train doesn't move, so it doesn't matter anyway. It was a simple design, but quite good considering we did this in 20 minutes or so. There's nothing much to talk about it, it's simple, but it works. Day 26. Day 26, I had a nice idea. I followed a tutorial to make a compact smelter for survival mode, and I tried to cover the redstone work and make a decoration to it, not only to be functional, but also look good. I went too excessively in the tough block department here, and sadly I made the building with even numbers, so that is a pain to look at from some angles. The idea was great, in my opinion. I was inspired by the concept of buildstone, where redstone and building become one together, but my execution was not the best, I would say. I think some tweaks in the shape could fix this, together with a better block distribution, to not just use stuff around. Day 27. Beep and another one of our friends, Bomp, helped me to build something from brutalist architecture. I had no idea on how to do it, but this idea went from an abandoned skyscraper to a complete terrorist attack. I don't know why we decided to do this, but it kinda worked, I guess. I'm not used to building something destroyed like the ruins of a building, so this was a nice change of routine and even relaxing somehow to just destroy some blocks. like that urge we have to make a creative world and just explode TNT, place lava everywhere. I guess this is the feeling I had when building this with my friends. I think they thought the same thing. It was fun. It's just a fun experience. There's nothing really professional about it. It's just a lot of crazy stuff going on. Day 28. Day 28, I wanted to build a custom nether portal, but it was not looking nice. Beep helped me once again to make an alternative, so we decided to make an ender devil. And the portal would be its sword. He's holding Steve's head, and this was Beep's job. Incredible job, I'd say. I just feel like statues are not my cup of tea. I don't think the building overall is well detailed. It felt like something you would see on Build Battle. It is fun, but it doesn't have the feeling of grandeur I was trying to accomplish. It just looked funny. But I mean, I try to make like something wow. I don't know how to explain better. I mean, that's it. That's funny. That's nice. But we could do better, I think. We could do better. Day 29. Day 29, we have an igloo. I try to practice more organic shapes, and an igloo would be a good choice to do this work. I used a gradient for icy caves I saw somewhere on the internet and made this pattern. I think it looks good for the building. Emphasis on the I think, because I don't know anything about color theory. I use spruce to give it more contrast and make the viewer notice this is indeed a house, because otherwise I think this building would just get blended into snow biomes. It looks nice, it's simple, and better than I anticipated. The only thing that takes time is to do the shape by hand, though I think this type of thing just comes with time. Day 30. Day 30 we have my best work yet. A dirt hut. This encompasses the first time we opened Minecraft, created a new world, trying to hide from the nocturnal monsters. Instinctively breaking dirt blocks and covering ourselves in fear and uncertainty of tomorrow. Truly a piece of work and the beginning of many to the Square game. Like the Hello World from programmers, the floor sec for animators, the C major scale for pianists. We have the dirt hut as a welcome to this wonderful game. I was just tired, okay? That's it. I didn't want to bother building a castle or something with high expectations in build 30, so my perfectionist obsession would explode and restart 1000 times, so that's it. Enjoy the building. Outro. Doing this challenge was incredibly hard, I have to be honest here, but it helped me improve, no questions asked. For example, I translated some skills I gained throughout this time and made a little workshop in Create Mod for me and my friends to play with. It kind of looks nice. Anyway. Sometimes we overcomplicate the process of learning something new and put our credibility in things nobody has control, like time, talent, money, or whatever. I'm always the type of person to overthink and never make a move. If I redid this challenge, I would probably give me more restrictions, like time restrictions. I believe the 27 by 27 canvas was a really good idea to implement. I took this from Rowan. Limiting yourself and setting clear boundaries is a good way to avoid high expectations and overwork, especially if you are low on time. You would be surprised on how much you can improve in anything just by actually practicing it. Even better, if you have friends with passion, you can ignite their flame and you guys can improve together. And things can be even more fun to do. Shout out to Beep, Bopp, and Bomp for helping me. Without them building with me and listening to my full life complaints, I would go crazy, definitely. Doing this was more personal than you might think. My idea was to help myself and others like me who never started a journey on whatever that might be. Whether you want to become a better builder or a person, try to practice for 30 days straight. Anyways, thank you.